All right, so here's another problem on the Chapter 9 textbook. This is preparing a classified balance sheet. So let's take a look at the data. And so for this one, notice we've got it's a December 31st year in year 2, Adventure Corporation. So we've got a list of all of our different accounts. Part 1 of this wants just the asset section of the classified balance sheet. So we'll need to know the current assets, and of course, this chapter is all about the long-lived assets, which is your non-current assets. And then they want us to do something with the fixed asset turnover ratio. So without any hesitation, let's take a look at it on the next slide. And just to kind of, as a little bit of review, remember your current assets are assets that are used within a year or converted to cash. So quite clearly, you know, cash is a current asset. You've got your accounts receivable. Then remember, you have to subtract out that allowance to get your net accounts receivable, inventories, and prepaid rent. So that's it on your total current assets. It's $22,000. And then everything else is your, they call it your PP&E, property, plant, and equipment. So you've got land, buildings, and then you've got equipment. And remember, you have to subtract out any accumulated depreciation, which they do. And then you got your net equipment. And then, of course, you've got your intangible assets. You've got goodwill. And then you got your licensing rights. And then it looks like there's some amortization associated with that of $1,000. So you have to subtract that to get your net licensing rights book value. So then if you add all those up, you would have total assets of $59,000. All right. And then on your fixed asset turnover ratio, remember the formula is this net revenue divided by average net fixed assets. So if the net revenue is $245, you've got beginning and ending assets of $14.5 plus the $29.8. You would average those in your denominator. You can't see that because these numbers are jumbled together, but you would divide those by 2 to get the average. And then you would get a turnover ratio of 11.06. And then I think compared to year 1, it was 15.23.